Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's After Church Tea Time. My name is Shaleia. I'm joined with Rachel and Christy, and we're going to be discussing today's Easter service. And happy Easter, everybody. Yeah, so who would like to get started sharing today?
Yeah, I can do. Happy Easter, everybody. I'm very honored to be here with you all, on Easter. First, I didn't get that it's Easter sermon, right? When I was putting myself into the schedule. I loved your sermon and all, the others in the service. And God kind of prepared me, to watch The Chosen again, for Jesus and getting ready for Easter. And I was even this week with another member from the community, in the movie theater and watching the first 2 episodes of the season 4 from The Chosen. And yeah, I don't want to give a spoiler alert, but yeah, it was really good. And like Soraya already said, because the topic is about feeling into miracles, right? And on our journey, since we study the teachings by Jeff and Shaleia and the teachings of union, your life is like a miracle, right? I can just speak for myself, since I started applying the mirror exercise, that every day feels like this because you overcome challenge after challenge. Kind of, it feels like one lifetime in 1 week. And like Soraya shared, in an open forum, you can see daily miracles happening, right, from other members who also start applying the teaching to ascend, to purify their consciousness, and it's really working. And so, I remember Shaleia shared in the Twin Flame Ascension School class about Jesus and the resurrection and what really happened there. And it was to crucify ego in a way, right? That ego is not created by God, so in truth it's not even real, and that we are all eternal, and that it cannot do you anything, and that so you don't have to be afraid of anything in truth. And you feel it more and more the more you love yourself with the mirror exercise, and the ascension path is kind of to perfect union, that you will not have any fear anymore left, right? It's kind of perfect union with God, and that's what we are all doing here. And so I'm so grateful, when I imagine just how I felt a few years before, and what kind of fears I had, and how compassionate kind of God prepares you, even to now speak life for me. It was a few years ago, a big challenge, right? And sometimes, of course, you're still nervous and stuff, but you can be more your authentic self, right? Everybody has their own core blocks that you're healing through, and with your twin flame union, for me, it was being seen, especially, and healing being silenced, right, in childhood. And so, yeah, it's a big thing for me. So everybody can do that and heal for that. And I feel that's up to date still, from Jesus, where it started, the Christ consciousness, to speak the truth, right? That we are healing that all collectively with the cancel culture, or that ego can get loud when you speak the truth, right? But at the same time, knowing that it doesn't have any power. I always say it's like a hot balloon with air in it. You put a needle in and then the air is gone, right? It just tries to be so big, but it doesn't have any power. And so that you don't have to be afraid of anything. And true, of course, it's natural. We are humans. We have fears, but knowing that for God, everybody wins, and love is the greatest power of all. And so, in truth, ego is just temporary, or the illusion of ego is just temporary. That we experience that in our reality, because the true reality is with God. That's the reality we are ascending towards, so that we can experience it. And yeah, I feel like Jesus is a good example of what we are doing all today, and how we build upon what he built, right? Kind of moving forward from that as a collective. Yeah, that's for now what I feel to share.
Yeah, beautiful. Certainly, there's been a lot of talk about miracles this weekend, for obvious reasons. But miracles are happening in your life all the time. Don't be dismissive of so-called small miracles, because in truth, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. There's no such thing as small miracles, big miracles. They're all the same. They're all miracles. So if an apparent small miracle happens in your life, accept that, celebrate it, receive it, because then that paves the way for what seems like far bigger miracles. The same with challenges. There's no big or small challenges, because to give them an order like that would be to say that some have more power than others, and none of them have any power. Sure, a block can appear absolutely huge when you're right up to the core of it, but that's just because you're up close. I mean, you might clear what seems like a big one and it takes 50 apparently little ones with it, or you can clear what seems like a little one and everything changes, everything breaks through. So wherever you're at on your journey, it's okay. Just relax into wherever you are. You can only take the steps in the order that God gives them to you. You can only follow God's path here. You can't control your path or your healing or make it happen a certain way. It's okay to just relax and surrender. And from the card reading, one piece that stood out to me was how it can feel like you're not moving forward, or there's things feel really heavy at the moment, but that's the chaos before the peace. And certainly for me and quite a few people in the group that I've been talking to this week, a lot of people seem to be releasing some really dense energies at the moment. Would you agree? Yeah. And you don't have to overdo the healing either. I mean, do the mirror exercise regularly when you're called to. But this time period is just as much about just allowing to release, about releasing these heavy energies that you don't want in your life or in your union. And then that allows you to receive the good that's coming to you. Yeah, and you also spoke about distracting yourself from the problem rather than actually moving through the problem. Yeah, I had a really good tip the other day. Supposing there's a problem and you're working through it, you're doing the mirror exercise, don't do the healing in order to solve the problem, to create an outcome. Don't do that. Just do the exercise because you deserve to feel good now. Do it to feel good now. Choose to feel good right now. It's the good feelings that enable everything else to fall into place. But if you're doing it to get the result, then that way of thinking is kind of blocking the result. You're doing it primarily for yourself, to feel good now, because that's what you deserve. Feel good.
Yeah, I feel like really what both of you guys are speaking to is enjoying the journey and like appreciating the journey and like how compassionate it actually is. I think sometimes we can pass a lot of judgment on our journey and be kind of short-sighted and just be thinking about this thing that like maybe we're, healing something that's really deep and there's a lot of layers to it. And sometimes we can feel frustrated with it. We have expectations of how it's supposed to go. Maybe we're feeling impatient and we're like, I just want to be done with this. I don't want to look at this anymore. But you guys are really pointing to being with God and appreciating it and like seeing the value in it and that you can really enjoy the process. I feel like this ascension journey is the funnest thing I've ever done in my life. Like it's so, because the feedback is so fast, right? Like the miracles are like always coming. And so it's like every day's a breakthrough. Every day, like you wake up with this like expectation that you're going to know God better, and you're going to feel better and you're going to have more peace and you're going to feel your feelings a little bit better or be clear about why you're not or whatever's coming up on your journey. You're going to keep going. And there's this, it's like you're in it, it's very passionate. It's like you're checked into life. You're not numbed out. You're not just like coasting and existing. You're living with a lot of purpose. And there's so much purpose in Ascension. And I feel like it's really an opportunity to like fall in love with the journey, you know, even more so than we already are, and to value, you know, all of our experiences. And yeah, like I feel like that's really the energy you guys are speaking to the most here.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Soraya. I can also feel that I feel God also wants to help us with that, right? Because the whole journey is in a way to claim your power back.
Mm-hmm.
And so often, like, for example, in childhood, the challenges felt so bad because we didn't know who we are and how divine we are and what kind of power we have together with God, and especially to say no to ego's voice, right? It's like Jesus said, and also Jeff and Shaleia, that it seems so rebellious or so radical to choose love, but what you were doing the whole time was just loving yourself, right? You did your best in every situation, and that's kind of normal, right? It should be to love yourself. And so I also love when Jeff said today in the live class, also speaking about challenges, that it doesn't take from you or energy, it gives to you, right? Your challenge, that you gain even energy from it because you build your whole foundation on that, right? You love yourself more, you come closer to God. What is the Ascension? And so I feel it's really about learning to see the whole journey from a different perspective and to see it as gems, kind of the upsets and the challenges that are coming, because like Jeff said, you cannot grow like on the beach in a way, right? But in a storm, that is when you grow. So, and we all kind of want to grow. We don't want to choose death while living, right? Or staying stuck. And it's okay if some people are not ready yet or they're afraid, but it will feel more and more uncomfortable if you don't move forward, if you don't love yourself, right? The situations that you were in, the contrast will get bigger, and we don't want that. So in truth, Jeff and Shaleia said, you just have two choices, either suffering or going for your dreams. So I choose to go for my dreams, and I'm so grateful that we have the solution now, right? The key for everything through the teaching from Jeff and Shaleia, and it's easy, it's simple, it works, and it's for everyone. And yeah, it's really fun, the Ascension journey, like you said, and that we are also not meant to do it alone. We are meant to ascend hand in hand and to do it together. That's why God wants to like work also with a coach and to be in the community, right? To not be like an island, but to choose separation from God, right? It's often when we were so used to, and I can understand it from myself, you were hurt in childhood, for example, it seemed like nobody's there for you, nobody can help you. And so you were better doing things alone, but now learning to trust again and to have faith and love, and that here is a safe space. And that's the fun part, right? Also, especially live events that are coming soon. And I'm so much looking forward to seeing you there, right? And many of us, and if others don't have a ticket yet, just get it.
There's another wedding.
Yes. And it's also like a short thing I want to speak about, right? Without giving the spoiler alert from the Chosen season 4, but Jesus spoke about family, like in one scene, and it was, for example, that the father of Rama didn't approve the marriage of her and Thomas, right? But Jesus did, like Jesus gave them their blessing. And that it can happen, Jesus said, that your biological family, or especially when they don't believe in God, that they will get in conflict with you, right? He is aware of that, even if he doesn't want that to happen, but it's kind of a natural thing. But it's important to take God as the most important one, and right, and to follow God. And it was already happening 2000 years ago, right? To kind of leave the place where you were born, and also to live your life purpose. And it's already in the Bible, kind of. And yet they were focusing on the marriage, and I felt it for twin flames, what we are also doing, right? We are focusing on celebrating the marriage and twin flames, and kind of showing everybody it's for you too, right? I have compassion if you choose separation right now or to not believe in God, but this is for you too. And so it's what God wants for us, to focus on twin flames, to focus on the truth, on marriage, and celebrating it in Michigan. So yeah.
There's a lot of joy to be had. I feel like that's something that God's been teaching me a lot on my journey recently, is to value joy and realize that joy is accessible to me. I feel like for so long in my life, it was just like coping with pain or just struggling or believing that that's all life was. And I think about in Twin Flame Ascension School, Jeff and Shaleia teach that this work all boils down to one thing, and it's the choice to feel good. And it's just it's like reawakening that desire in ourselves that we want to have a joyful life. We want to have fun. We want to be with God every day. We want to do what actually feels good in our soul, like serving our divinity. Jeff and Shelley also talk about in Life Purpose class. Um, we're meant to have a really good life. Like God's will for us is a good will. Like it's a good life. This isn't just like, slaving away because I'm supposed to, or, I need to because otherwise something bad's going to happen. Like that's so fear-based. It feels so bad. And, yeah, I remember Jeff and Shaleia said this one time, how like Jesus, going back to, with it being Easter and his story, Shaleia was talking about how like Jesus didn't suffer. That was the first time I'd ever heard that. Because in my church background, people were always talking about how like he suffered so much because he loves, right? And so like suffering was kind of glorified. It was kind of seen. And I feel like this is pretty much all throughout Christianity today in terms of a belief system that's there. It's very rare to encounter somebody that doesn't believe that. But what Jeff and Shaleia teach is like suffering is ego. Suffering is choosing separation. It's the hell of the illusion of separation. And Jesus wasn't in hell. He wasn't. There's no glory to be had in suffering, and it's safe for us to claim our joy and really fall in love with life. And there's hope now. I feel like in many ways we're all like really letting it sink in that like this ascension path is here. Like I feel like a lot of us deep down, we wanted this for so long and we've been calling this in, I feel like for generations, for lifetimes. And here we are, and it's like things are happening so fast now, breakthroughs, miracles, so much in this community. It's like something the world's never seen, and at least as far as I'm aware of. And so it's like we're like processing like, oh, heaven's here. Oh, this work is here. I can heal separation. I can be with my twin flame. I don't have to be in hell anymore. Like it's kind of a process of realizing that, letting go of that old grief and that feeling of heaviness and realizing that we can feel light, even if it's for the first time that we can remember.
Yep, that's certainly where things are at. And yeah, as you said earlier, it really is the most compassionate way. So if it feels like you're moving forward too slow, please know that it's the perfect, most compassionate pace for you.
Mm.
And also bear in mind that as you're moving through stuff, the only way to move through it is to have lots and lots and lots of compassion for yourself. You can't do it while being hard on yourself. Go easy on yourself. Cut yourself some slack. Be kind to yourself. It's all part of loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, claiming power. Releasing powerlessness is a big part of the journey for pretty much everyone. And saying no to ego. So you want to, when the voice of fear speaks to you, what you should do, you do the opposite of what it tells you to do. Do exactly what it tells you not to do. Even if the voice of love that you're hearing in your heart is tiny, that's the voice that's speaking the truth, that has all the power. Remember, the voice of fear, the voice of ego, will always speak first and will always speak loudest, and it will sound so logical and so sensible, but there's no substance to it. It falls apart as soon as you actually look at it divinely.
Mm.
So you've nothing to worry about there. Ego isn't even real. Fear isn't real. Only love is real. And keep choosing love in every moment. When you go into a pocket of doubt or difficult patch, there's always a test. Are you going to choose love now? Are you going to choose to be with love now? Or are you going to numb out? Are you going to run away? Are you going to distract yourself? If you stay steadfast and choose love in that space, then the fear dissolves, the ego dissolves, the obstacles naturally melt away. And it's okay if it takes a while. Everyone's journey is unique. It's a unique process for everyone, but you'll get better understanding your own process, or seeing things clearly, seeing why things have played out the way they have. You just come to a moment of clarity. Oh, it's just this. And it always becomes so amazingly simple. So wherever you're at, keep doing. You've got this. You're doing fantastic.
Yes, always focus on God, and in doing so, you keep your awareness on what matters, which is love, and we all are experiencing victory. Only love is real. Only love is real. Ego is so loud and obnoxious, but at the end of the day, only love is real. So the stakes aren't as high as we feel that they are when we're really buying into the illusion of ego. It's not like do this or something bad's going to happen or you're not going to be okay. Like all of that's an illusion. Everything's actually really okay. And it's so important. I'm so glad that you're really, sharing, Rachel, how, we are meant to be compassionate with ourselves, and that there's nothing good that comes from being hard on ourselves, judging, putting expectations on ourselves, rejecting ourselves. Like it's like ego sometimes will tell us that there's a purpose for that's helping us be better. Like we're being critical of ourselves, and then we're going to challenge ourselves more. We're going to get to the destination, wherever that is, somewhere else, somewhere other than here. We're going to get there faster if we're hard on ourselves. But yeah, it's just a reminder. It really is that simple. Just love yourself. You should be having fun on this journey. Sometimes you face challenges, but it should feel juicy to even face the challenges. And if it doesn't, like, really, like, this is why we have the communities. Like, reach out to your coach, reach out for support, see what's going on there, because this journey really is about feeling good and growing in feeling good. And love is always the way. And it's safe to trust that, even if it's counterintuitive at first.
Yeah, I love that we need this encouragement, right? Sometimes, and when you need it, to just go into the open forum, right? Or of course, like it's recommended to have like your weekly coaching sessions, and there's always something coming up, and that you want to go deeper, and it's kind of like a healthy addiction, I would say. Also, like to go deeper and to learn more and to watch the classes, and like the disciples of Jesus, they were kind of clinging on his lips, right, when he speaks next, or when he will have a sermon. And so it's kind of your daily bread, and you learn it with the teachings of Union too, that it gives you so much, right? Like the Bible started with the word, and what kind of impact it has on your consciousness, right? The truth sets you free, and to really like your consciousness feed it constantly, like with the truth, because like also Rachel spoke about like the power, or like, because one drop of the truth dissolves all problems, right? Like ego can be so loud, but when you speak the truth, it shuts up, right? It's kind of when somebody tries to attack you, like nobody can attack your divine self in truth. You just say, no, I'm divine like you, and there's nothing else to, no wind in the sail anymore, right? Kind of that, because that's the truth. You're perfect. So what is your problem? You're divine like me. Yeah, it's like Rachel said, it's so clever. It seems like ego, but it's not intelligent, like Jeff said, right? So there's in truth nothing to fear about. But I also had struggled a lot in childhood how to react to it or what to say. And I'm also healing right now about that I don't have to justify myself. Right? Sometimes ego wants you to prove yourself, or to how to stand up for yourself, and I felt often not able to do that, or that I don't know what to say, or kind of frozen in situations, and that sometimes you don't have to even, right? You just choose love, and to love yourself, and let the others think what they want to think, because they will even never approve you, like as long as they're not approving themselves. So you don't want to even listen like to the opinion if somebody's not choosing love. And so it's like Jeff said, one mirror exercise brings you from hell into heaven, right? So every time when you feel like I'm in hell, you just do the mirror exercise, you just love this little part of you inside of you, and you feel like with the elevator in heaven. So it's kind of, I feel symbolic to what Jesus did with the cross, right? The resurrection, or kind of ascending. The mirror exercise is that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important for us to realize that we can have the thing, that we don't have to delay that heavenly feeling. And when you're in heaven and someone comes up to you and they're like, you're in hell, you don't really care. It just doesn't matter. It's only like when we're choosing suffering and we're allowing ourselves to feel bad and not choose love there, that's our experience. Like we have that authority to decide what our experience will be. And yeah, you just get busy being in heaven and get so caught up in being in heaven that everybody can be like, oh, you're in hell all day long, and you just don't care because you know you're not, and like you're having fun. And yeah, I feel like part of what you were talking to, Christy, was really the importance of leaning into the teaching and, leaning into our guru's teaching and the support that's here and how important that is. I feel like and I know from experience, there's no way to do this without support. At the end of the day, like we have people who've gone before us, the ascended masters, people like Jesus, Jeff and Shaleia, who speak the truth over us, and we have that, and that's a powerful gift. They have spoken things in my life that I wasn't able to even understand when they said it, but over time it was revealed to me. And if I didn't have that word in my mind and my consciousness, that seed, so to speak, that Jeff and Shaleia planted in my soul, it wouldn't have been able to mature. And even if you don't get it at first, like just having like that constant, relationship with the teaching and with the community, like having that feedback, like, we're all in this together. Like we're family, I feel that like we do everything together. We serve together, we work together, we're about this. And it's a beautiful thing, like to have that and it's like really, it's something that we just don't have to deprive ourselves of. Like it's available to everybody. It's like just love, and it's something that we all need. And the truth is very powerful, but we come to become like on the journey, like we become aware of the truth, and we need to have that teaching, that support from our gurus to help us see, to illuminate the truth to us. And so it's really safe to receive love, all the love that's here, and important to receive it.
Yeah, I love what you just said there. Certainly, knowing that only love is real and choosing love. Uh, in addition to the recent releasing of lots of heavy energies in the collective, there's also been a lot of releasing of the illusion, taking power back from the illusion of separation, the illusion of ego, letting all of that go and choosing love. And it requires faith, it requires trusting God and trusting yourself. So are you feeling confident in your relationship with yourself, with God, with your twin flame? Because if not, then maybe it's time to spend some time with yourself there and spread a little bit more confidence there. Choose to deepen your faith and trust in yourself first. A little bit of faith goes a long way. And of course, you can't get to 100% faith all in one go. It's something that you build gradually as you build your relationship with yourself, you build your relationship with God. If you'd had a poor relationship with yourself before, then sometimes you have to rebuild all that from scratch, and that's okay. It's okay if it takes a while. You are worth taking the time to love really thoroughly here.
Amen. Play the long game. You know, be thinking long term what you're investing in. And yeah, you're absolutely worth it. You're worth the love that it takes for your ascension, for your harmonious twin flame union, for everything that you desire, and which is ultimately what we're saying with all these things, all these miracles. We're just saying we want God. You know, we want God in our harmonious union. We want God in our life purpose, in our finances, in our health, and all these different areas. And I feel like a big part of this is admitting how much we actually want God and seeing that that's actually what it was this whole time. And yeah, I feel like that's really a big part of like the message of the sermon for me, was just realizing that, you know, it's safe to go all in and to really see what we're here for, and to like really claim that truth in our heart that we want God. And yeah, like, yeah, there's challenges and there's a journey that we must go on, but it's so worth it. And once we're clear on that, I feel like getting clear on that is like half the journey. You know, once you're like really committed and you're like clear, you're like, this is all that there is for me. I've seen that nothing else matters that much. This is all that really matters. You can really go all in. And yeah, like, don't get caught up in what's happening in the short term. Know what you're really investing into and where you're headed. Yeah.
Amen.
Mm.
Yeah, I love like how everybody's bringing the puzzle pieces together, right? You feel like, because God needs all of us, right? Everybody has a talent or that nobody else can do. And I feel it, like God said to me when I met with the community member on Thursday, like with going to the movies, it's really like Jesus said, when two or three like come together or gather together in my name, right? Then I'm in the midst of them. And you can feel that, right? When you come together as the community, or two or three of us, then what is happening? And yeah, to feel God there and speaking through each of us, and to remind each other. And yeah, also felt like saying with Jeff, I think in Romans and Sedona, it was like speaking of the pain or the challenges, that to lean into it, right? When kind of the pain comes, like with the massage, and I love massages, so I really like this example, like with the Thai massage, right? When the pain comes, you surrender into it, like you relax into the pain, then it goes away, and not trying to run away from it or to avoid it. And then it just kind of feels like bigger, or you give it more power than it has. But so leaning into the teaching, leaning into loving yourself, right? Leaning into the mirror exercise, and let's face it, let's face the ghost under our bed that is not even real. And when you look the fear in the eye, it doesn't have any power over you anymore. Yeah, I really love that too. So I just checked the comments, like it was a lot of happy Easter. Yeah, happy Easter to all of you. From us here too. And no questions so far. Yeah, but of course they are welcome.
Good. Yes, happy Easter. Great. Yeah, it feels like we're kind of nearing being complete with this. How do you guys feel? Do you have anything else you'd like to share?
I'm feeling complete.
Good. Feeling good, Christy?
I just was feeling into it. Like I just felt that, yeah, we chose to come here on earth. It's also like the book, The Law of the Spirit World, or to learn lessons and to learn the fast way, right? And to know that what we are doing, that, and in a way, I always loved challenges, right? But to see it like when you really hear something or a challenge, then you learn a lesson from it. And so you don't have to repeat it anymore, right? And yeah, to, like we said in the beginning, to just see the journey as like a game, right? A game of life, like a computer game with different levels, and to not take it too seriously. What is happening on the outside, because it's often not the real reality, right? We just it's really waking up from this nightmare that we often created ourselves, right? With the belief in separation, that we would have a separate self from God. But it's just an illusion. We are never separated from God. And so we are waking up from the nightmare into the truth, and that we're already home. That's like where we're all headed towards, right? Like home with God, in God's arms. And yeah, I'm happy that I can do it with all of you. So that's my last part I want to share.
You know, as you were sharing that, I was thinking about something that God pointed out to me and asked me to look at one time. That's very similar to what you're talking about, of like really giving your life to Ascension. I just gone through something on my twin flame journey that was really challenging, and it really challenged certain attachments that I had. So it was kind of like feeling some triggers, feeling some feels about those attachments. And God was like, so what? Like, so what if you lost all of that, or if you went through that, or if you faced that challenge? Like, what do you want in this life? And God really challenged me to get clear that this life for me is about ascension, like almost like giving this life as like an offering to God, you know, like choosing like in a very clear way that I'm here, and the reason I'm here is for this work and to do this and to ascend. And whether I have 10 days to do it, or 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, who knows? 100 years would be kind of crazy. I feel like I'd hit a record pretty close to that. I don't know what the record is nowadays, but anyway, but however long we're here, like I feel like it's so important to look at what this life is for us. And I feel like that's what you're talking about too, Christy, is just like really realizing that this is kind of like a video game, and it's like, you know, we're just here to have fun, learn what we can, do what we can. And, you know, it's really important for us to be so clear on our purpose, and that if we're living for the little thing, then we're going to suffer trying to get it. We're going to attach to it, be miserable, and afraid we're going to lose it. But if we give our life to ascension, then it's just always going to be getting better. And we know that this is like an eternal thing. I think Jeff and Shaleia did a YouTube video where they were talking about like the eternal journey of twin flames, and how like, you know, even like a million lifetimes is like nothing for an eternal being. And what else would we be doing? Like, you know, this is the juiciest thing to do until everybody's fully ascended. Like, this is like, what else would we be doing? Like, what else could matter more than this? What else could be more valuable to us than this? And so it's like getting really clear on what we're here for. And that feels really good and peaceful.
Beautiful. Yeah, I can just sign that. It's because we want heaven on earth, right? Like we said, and to know what is here, it stays here. So in the next lifetime we come again, it's here. And so when you have your harmonious in this lifetime, right, you just get born near each other. And I love to feel that everything what you're doing, it's so worth it because you will keep it, right, in your vibration. And yeah, so even the teaching is here, right, when we will come again. So you don't have to worry about anything, true.
Yeah, I take a lot of comfort in the fact that I found this teaching. I'm like, okay, well, at least if I came back, I'd vibrate to find this teaching very early on. But yeah, it's yeah, eternal investments, eternal rewards, for sure. Good. Anything else you guys want to share?
Well, it just makes me think of the Rumi quote. Why set your heart on a piece of earth? Seek the source that shines forever. Pretty apt, I think.
Beautiful. Good. Feeling complete? Good, good. All right. Well, thank you everyone so much for joining us for today's after church tea time. I hope that you enjoy your Easter, take some time and really reflect on your relationship with God, and you know what you're here for, and the gift and the opportunity that we have every moment to be with God. And we appreciate you guys so much. Harvey says hello, and we will see you guys next week. All right, bye.